Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to my channel, The Daily DIYer. I hope you all are having an amazing day and you're ready to get creative because today's video is going to be chock full of ideas of how you can repurpose mason jars. I love mason jars. I have used them for so many different things, but I really love them because you can pretty much find these anywhere. You can find them at Dollar Tree, which is some of the ones I'm going to show you today, but you can also find them at department stores, discount stores, and even farm supply stores. And today I have 25 different ideas to share with you and I'm so excited about it. But before we get started with that, I want to thank Acorn TV for sponsoring today's video. Acorn TV is home to sophisticated and artful storytelling rooted in British television. Their extensive library includes hard-to-find gems, timeless classics, and newly discovered favorites from Britain, Ireland, Australia, and beyond. I love Acorn TV because I can pretty much have it wherever I am. They have an app, so you can download that and stream it on Apple and Android devices. You can also stream it from home on your television using either Amazon Fire TV, Google Chromecast, or what I do is I use my Roku. Acorn TV is loaded with thousands of hours of binge-worthy content, which is great for when you're stuck inside during these winter months. Now, me personally, I just found this series called Keeping the Castle. I love documentaries, and it follows along with a family who has had this castle in their family for over 400 years. And it's pretty cool because they actually allow weddings in the castle along with television and filming and even tourists. So there's some highs in this and there's also some lows because obviously it's probably pretty expensive when it comes to the upkeep of a castle. So I would definitely recommend checking that one out. The awesome thing is it's all commercial free and it's also only $5.99 per month. And Acorn TV was awesome enough to give you guys a discount code. So if you use the code TheDailyDIYer, you will get your first 30 days of their streaming service for free. And if you're a fan of quirky British comedy, then the other one is a must watch. It follows two sisters from very different worlds who had no idea the other existed until their father drops dead. And for you Downton Abbey fans out there, the other one features a hilarious performance from beloved Siobhan Finneran. Escape to Britain and beyond without leaving your seat. Try Acorn TV today free for 30 days by going to acorn.tv and using the promo code TheDailyDIYer. Now I'm super excited to jump into these 25 mason jar DIYs.
All right, so to get started, I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent. I bought these mason jars from Walmart. It's actually much cheaper to do it this way when you buy in bulk. And a set of 12, it was only about $8. So of course, if you're only gonna be making a few, grab some singly from Dollar Tree like the ones you see here. But if you're gonna be making a lot of projects, definitely buy in the dozens because that will save you a lot of money. Now, I also want to show you these amazing new lids that Dollar Tree just came out with. I grabbed several. We're going to go through some of these. I'm going to show you how to use some of them. The first one is this hanging lid that has a really nice chain on the top. This one could not be more simple. I'm just adding some river rocks from Dollar Tree into the bottom and adding a candle inside. I would suggest using a battery powered tea light or votive in here instead of the one that I'm showing you. I didn't have any on hand, so I just kind of used what I had so you could get the idea, but you just kind of tuck it right down in there, add the lid back onto the top, and then you can hang this as a decorative piece. I have mine hanging from a really pretty hook set that I actually created using Dollar Tree items. I have a prior tutorial on how to make this for only about $2, so I'll make sure to link that up in the iCards and down in the description box so you can go check that out after this video. Next, we're going to create a wax melt scent holder. Of course, we need a mason jar. I have these pretty daisy lids from Dollar Tree along with one of their wax melt scents, and all you have to do is throw a few of those wax melts into your mason jar, and then I have mine sitting next to my fireplace, which heats it up and creates that scent. You could also add these into your car, into one of your cup holders for warm summer days, so it will heat up and make your car smell really nice. Or you could even set this on top of a coffee mug holder or warmer that would warm up your wax melts for you. It keeps it all nice and contained inside the jar, and the daisy lid looks cute and also lets the scent out the top. We're going to be using the star lid for this next one. You don't necessarily have to be able to see that star on top. Although it is cute and decorative, you can also use it to tuck some greenery or some flowers into and create a hanging vase. Mason jars also come in super handy in the craft room, and these great gridded lids from Dollar Tree I thought would be the perfect way to help store and organize paintbrushes. But you could also use these and use the same concept to store other items like colored pencils or pens and pencils for your desk. These are also great for storing your craft items. Like you'll see here, I just transformed these, took the lids off, and added some popsicle sticks, dowel rods, and some wood beads. These are really cute to not just hold your items, but also to have out in your craft room so you can display them and also have them handy when you need them. This is also one of my own personal hacks that I've designed. I do not have running water or a sink in my she shed and craft room, so what I've done is actually use mason jars to hold water. They work perfectly because of course the lids screw down tight so they don't spill or leak, and then whenever I need to clean my paintbrushes off, I just pop the lid off and use it to clean my paintbrushes. Or what I'll do is I'll actually put lots of paintbrushes into the one container and then take them into the house and clean them, and that way they don't dry out. It's really simple to make your own twine dispenser out of a mason jar too. This jute ball is from Dollar Tree. You'll also need a hammer, pliers, and a large nail. I also have a piece of scrap wood to protect my countertop. I'm taking my lid off of the mason jar, flipping it upside down, and poking a few holes right down into the middle. And then I also use my pliers to help make that hole a little bit larger. And then I was able to just put my jute into the jar. I would kind of suggest getting a wide mouth mason jar for this because it was a pretty snug fit for the jute to fit down in there. It's doable though, and once I have the jute in there, you just feed the end right up through the hole and put your ring back on, and you have a nice jute dispenser, and then your jute doesn't go rolling all over your work surface as you're trying to craft. Now, not only is this pretty, but it's also a simple way to add a subtle scent to your space. I have a pack of Potpourri from Dollar Tree and the Daisy lid again. You just pour your Potpourri right into your mason jar, pop the lid back on, and set it in a place where you need that extra good smell in your home or your workspace, your kitchen, bathroom, or craft room. Now up for a couple mason jar hacks for the kitchen. The first couple are for your salt. And what I'm doing here is just removing the sticker off of a container of salt. We're gonna make our own salt pour that looks a little bit nicer than these sort of commercial looking boxes from the store. I took the sticker off of the metal pour spout, used the lid from the mason jar to create a template, traced around it, and then used a razor blade to cut it down to size so that it would fit perfectly underneath our mason jar lid. I always like putting my ingredients and things like that into nice looking containers. It just makes the kitchen look a little bit nicer and makes cooking a little bit more fun. So it's just a cute way to store your salt in a different way. Now we're going to create a cute salt shaker. Kind of using the same concept, we're going to take a large nail and puncture some holes to the bottom side using a hammer. I just put several holes all throughout the top of the lid and then replaced it back onto our mason jar filled with salt, and it works perfectly as a large salt shaker. Mason jars also are great for holding some of your kitchen utensils. I found these adorable Ray Dunn miniature kitchen utensils at Hobby Lobby. I want to say after the sale they were only about $6 or $7 for this whole set. So I'm excited to have this new little setup and display in my kitchen, which looks so cute next to my new salt shaker. Now let's move on to how you can use these in the bathroom. These are cute anywhere you put them, including in your bathroom. So here I just have some toothbrushes displayed in them. We're also going to make a cute little set and add a hand soap pump for it to go with. So I'm using my hammer and nail, my pliers, and scrap wood because we're going to punch some more holes into the lid. This is a look at the start of a big circle I was going to make with the nails. So you go all the way around, hammering in about the size of a hole that you would need for your soap pump to fit down into. I also use the pliers to help pull the circle out and also make the hole bigger as I needed it to fit that soap pump. Then I just took some hot glue. You could also use some E6000 here to attach the top of your soap pump to the top of the lid. You can also dress up your mason jar lids by adding a simple wooden knob to the top. I'm using my hot glue to attach this knob right to the center of the top, and then I ended up taking off the lid and separating the parts so that way I could paint them. I would suggest spray painting them if you're able to. It's just way too cold for me to be able to spray paint here in February right now, so I did end up just going ahead and using my chalk paint. I really like the finish of this too. It gives it a farmhouse look. So what I did is just covered the entire two pieces and the knob with white chalk paint, and I did come back and do a second coat once the first was dried. And you can store so many different things in these cute little jars, from Q-tips to cotton balls to face rounds and more. You can also store tissues in these cute little mason jars. I just have a box of tissues from Dollar Tree and pulled it apart, and you just want to use a few at a time. If you have too many, then you'll overstuff and then it's hard to get the tissues out. So I just loosely rolled a few up and stuffed them and tucked them right on the inside of the mason jar with one of the tissues hanging out the top so that you could just pull them out as you needed them. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you're still watching at this point in the video. We're only about halfway through because I have so many amazing ideas to share with you. So let's go ahead and keep moving on to our next mason jar hack. These look so pretty at night in your garden or on your patio. All I have here are some glass beads from Dollar Tree and one of their solar lights. You're going to take apart your solar light. You do not need the bottom, just the top part. You'll add whatever type of beads you want to the inside. These are really pretty because the light will hit them and kind of make them glow. So I put the whole entire bag of the beads inside the mason jar, and then you just sat your solar light right on top. I love this idea because it is so practical and functional. It's a way to store your matches, and all we're going to do here is take some sandpaper, which you can find at Dollar Tree too. I used the lid to create a template and traced around it on one of the sheets of sandpaper and cut it out down to size. Then all you have to do is add your matches to the inside of your mason jar. It keeps them safe, it keeps them dry, and then you have your starter on the top of your mason jar for when you need to strike your match. This is one of my absolute favorite ways to use mason jars in a decorative way. All you have to do is add some water to the inside of your mason jar and add a small floating candle. It just creates a really pretty glow. And as long as you keep this away from anything that's flammable, your candle is safe inside the jar with the water and creates a gorgeous glow and atmosphere. Mason jars are also great for creating gardens or planting things in them, or even faux gardens like this succulent garden. So I have my river rocks again, and also a succulent from Dollar Tree. I just added my rocks to the inside of the mason jar and popped my succulent right on top. Now let's not forget about all of those mason jar lids that we've been disregarding for our projects. You definitely want to hang on to those because they come in handy for other projects too, like these coasters. So what I did is I took the lids apart and used the circle part on a piece of cork from Dollar Tree. I traced around it and cut those out down to size, and then I used my hot glue to glue the metal rings together. And the cork actually has an adhesive backing on it, so all I did was take the paper backing off and then adhered the cork down to the insides of those jar lids. Now we're going to make a really simple cloche style mason jar. I have some fairy lights from Dollar Tree. I love these. I feel like this is such a bargain and they create such a pretty look. So I just removed the lid. You're not going to need that. And made sure my fairy lights, of course, had batteries in it, and just tucked them into the inside of the mason jar. I just sort of played around with it, made sure that there was some at the top and the sides and the bottom so it was spread out evenly. And then I flipped the jar upside down on a piece of round wood that I already had and turned the lights on, and it was simple as that. This is an oldie but a goodie, and I wanted to bring it back because it is still very, very useful. You want to clean out one of your drawers. I added some decorative contact paper to the inside, and these are smaller size mason jars. They're 4-ounce jelly size. We're going to create our own spice drawer. So if you have trouble organizing those spices, all you need to do is use mason jars. So you just want to make sure that you clean all of the parts really well, because of course we're going to be adding spices to them. I did take the lids outside and did some spray painting so that they would have a pretty decorative look. You can skip this step altogether if you want. Because this is on the outside and it's not touching any of the food that will be on the inside, it's pretty safe. You might want to put some sealer on it just to make sure you don't have any paint chips. I also used some chalkboard paint for the tops of the jar lids, so that way I could use a chalk marker and write the different seasonings on them, but as I needed to change them, I could just erase and change out the spices as I needed to. And it's just as simple as that. It looks super cute, really, really handy and practical. And these are also some really fun decorative ways to use mason jars. I created sort of a nautical look with some rope from Dollar Tree. Using my hot glue to attach it, I added a handle to the top first, so basically just a upside down U shape, and hot glued those ends to the top rim of the mason jar. Now we're going to wrap our rope around the top of the rim a few times. That's going to keep our handles in place and also cover up the sides and make it look a little bit more clean. And the next three projects, we need to start with a white base on our mason jar. So I just went ahead at this point and painted out 3 mason jars, rim and all, with 2 coats of white chalk paint. For this one, I'm going to show you how to make a really easy buffalo plaid pattern on your mason jars. So like I said, we started out with that white base. We're coming in with a flat, squared off paintbrush and adding stripes of gray chalk paint around. I'm just kind of eyeballing this, and you just kind of want to make sure it is evenly spaced as best as you can. We're going vertically with those stripes. Once those stripes are dry, we're going to go around the outside horizontally, again kind of creating some even sized boxes. I also painted out the rim of this mason jar. Once our gray paint dries, we're going to come in with some black chalk paint now, using a smaller paintbrush. Basically where those gray squares cross, that is where we're going to add our black squares. I love the look of chippy enamel. It's such a pretty farmhouse finish, so I wanted to show you how to do that with these mason jars. I also have some chalkboard tiles from Dollar Tree we'll use in just a little bit, but to get that faux enamel look, I'm taking a small paintbrush and just adding some lines here and there around the mason jar. Basically what it looks like is that enamel is being chipped off and you're seeing that undercoat. I also added some black paint around the top edge. And then just to dress it up a little bit, I had some Dollar Tree chalkboards, so I wrote home on the front of one of them, tied some jute around the neck of the mason jar, and hot glued that chalkboard onto the front. And this is another way to get that rustic look with your mason jars. So again, I started with my white base, and I'm taking some 80 grit sandpaper and literally just sanding the chalk paint right off of the mason jar. It gives a really pretty weathered look, and you can kind of see into the clear glass of the mason jar too. And then to dress it up a little bit, I used some Dollar Tree burlap ribbon tied around the middle, or hot glued around the middle, and then I tied some jute around that. I would love to hear which one of these mason jar hacks was your favorite, or which one you would love to give a try to. You can leave those down in the comment section below. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll have more Dollar Tree DIYs popping up on your screen that you can check out next. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a very creative day.